What's up, Transformers fans? Welcome to week 9 of Moonbase 84's year-long celebration of 40 years of Grimlock and the Dinobots. So a couple things before we get into today's video. Number one, we have just recently adopted 2 kittens, and one of them is absolutely psychotic, so you might hear some weirdness in the background. It's because that one kitten is running around the house and where I record, causing utter chaos. Number 2 is, if you could like, subscribe, and all that jazz, I'd really appreciate it. Okay, time to get into this week's video. Now, going by the thumbnail of this video for this week, I'm sure you can speculate that it's going to be a little different. We've been celebrating the past 40 years of Grimlock and the Dinobots, but I also think it's important to talk about where the Dinobots could be going in the future. And here I want to note that this is pure speculation, my speculations and hopes for where the Dinobots, not only the Dinobot faction, but transforming dinosaur robots or Dinobots, where I would like to see them go. So yeah, this isn't about any rumors that I've heard or anything like that. Pure speculation and hopes. With that disclaimer out of the way, let's tackle the video. I want to start off by talking about Studio Series. You may have heard things being tossed around like Studio Series is going to end sooner than later because they're running out of things that they can do. I can see that point, but I disagree when it comes to Gamer Edition because there's a lot of characters still from the Fall and War of Cybertron games that we haven't gotten, specifically the Dinobots. Now, back in the day, we did get Grimlock in the War for Cybertron line, but that had some problems, a lot of hollowness. But I think it's a crime that we never got all of the Dinobots from that game. The Studio Series Gamer Edition could rectify this, and I would love to get a full team of Hasbro Studio Series Dinobots from War for Cybertron. And I think Hasbro should consider this because the third-party company Planet X has been producing these War for Cybertron Dinobots for quite a few years now. They're just recently started reissuing them again, and they are eating Hasbro's lunch and capitalizing on these awesome designs. Now, of course, those Planet X Dinobots are really expensive. They are a third or fourth party company, and so that usually lends to big money. So I think Hasbro, even giving us leader class Dinobots, they'd be foolish not to. We recently got the core class Dino King in Legacy, and while I haven't had a chance to pick it up, I do want to get it. But one thing I will say is that I would like a bigger scale Dino King to go with, the proper size combiners. But if Hasbro were to give us a bigger scale Dino King, what I wouldn't want it to be is a HasLab. I have some definite criticisms on the Lyle Kaiser, but that's a video for another day. But I would like it to come like in a line like Age of the Primes or, Generation Selects. Or maybe it could be a set of figures in the rumored made-to-order line that's not a HasLab that it's been going around. I know that Hasbro did that a couple times for Marvel Legends with the Sentinel and I think Dragon Man. So maybe a bigger scale Dino King would be a good candidate for that. But I do think you could sell it like in especially online fan channels as kind of like a retail release because they are Dinobots. Talking about the core class Dino King set is a perfect segue to talking about Scar and Slash, newer members of the G1 aesthetic Dinobots. I would love to see both of these characters get an upscale to for Slash at least a deluxe size, and Scar maybe a Voyager or a leader class. I would also love to see Scorn make that leap over and join Scar and Slash to that, from the Bayverse to a more traditional take on the Dinobots. I think that would be really, really cool. I'm going to butcher the name here, but I would love for Hasbro to do the Raptoricons I forget. It's like Raptoricons. They were characters created, I believe, for a convention back in the day, and they had a comic, and they just look cool. The premise behind them is pretty cool as well. They're 4 raptors, but 4 distinct raptors, and what makes them distinct is that each one's raptor mode, the aesthetic for it is what we thought raptors look like over time. So the evolution of kind of like the Jurassic Park looking raptor to the more feathered one that we have today, and there's a mixture. A couple of them have a mixture of both aesthetics, and I think that's really cool. It'd be really awesome to get a set of these girls. I did almost say guys, but they are female. Swinging back to the original Dinobot faction, I would love to see an update for those guys as well. You could either do it like in a Beast Wars style, meaning transforming into realistic dinosaurs, or you could keep the robotic dinosaurs. So update, what I mean by that is going and having their dino modes be the modern take on how dinosaurs look and not tail draggers, for example. I think that would be really, really cool. You could do them in, again, you can get those by giving us the War for Cybertron Studio Series Gamer Editions. What would be really awesome is if Hasbro brought back the Dinobot subline like we got with Beast Machines and Armada, and they could use that as a vehicle to give us some of this stuff that I've been talking about. That would be phenomenal. Lastly, I'd like the Dinobots to finally arrive in Skybound's Energon universe. I think it's going to be only a matter of time. I'm actually really surprised that Daniel Warren Johnson hasn't brought the Dinobots into the comic yet, because he loves that big action, gritty action as we've been seeing, and the Dinobots would fit what he likes to do pretty nicely. So that'll wrap up this week's episode of celebrating 40 years of Grimlock and the Dinobots. While we celebrate the last 40 years of Dinobots within Transformers, I thought it would definitely be fun to speculate on where they could be going. Having said my piece on the matter, comment below to let me know what you think of my ideas and my thoughts, and make sure to share your own, because I've only scratched the surface on what they could do with the Dinobots. And until next time, thanks for docking.